So on rainy days like today, the first thing I always do is take down my inner. I'm using a Hilliberg Ennen, and the outer quite often gets wet with condensation, or at least is damp. And the inner can get a bit wet, but I like to just try and protect it, because if I meshed them together when I pack them up, this thing would be soaked, and then that's my safe, dry sanctuary. So I take it down, it's really no big deal, I don't mind, and then this one goes away separately. Alright then, day 2, Hebridean Way. Let's get it done. Feels good to be moving. I have to say, whilst days like this don't lend themselves to good filming conditions, this is an important thing to experience, because these islands, for generations since people arrived here, right up until the present day, have operated and evolved around the sea. The maritime weather still does play a massive role in the industries here, and you can't just always expect it to be sunny, and it's not. So it sort of makes me feel a little bit more connected to the people of the past. And in addition to that, today we are going to be going past quite a few standing stones and historical sites, so I'm looking forward to sharing those with you as we stumble upon them. This path is actually pretty narrow, and I have soaking wet feet, but perhaps most curious of all is there are so many slugs, and they're massive. Look at them. I'm surprised I didn't get eaten by slugs in the night. Nom 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 nom. Slug, 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 slug. You might wonder why I'm wearing sunglasses, but it's basically because it keeps the hair out of my face most of the time. And I have a strong belief, if you're wearing sunglasses, it encourages the sun to come out.
I quickly got irritated by the soggy long grass, and so chose to drop down onto the beach, which ran parallel alongside. Initially, it proved to be a great decision, as there was loads to look at, including a small fishing vessel bobbing up and down in the turbulent waters. Now, in this big, wide, open space, I felt like a weight had been taken off my shoulders, and I absorbed everything, from the tiny shells and flowers to the raindrops that splattered all over me.
Alright, slight problem. We've got a water course. I didn't expect that. And I know that some of this sand is quite sinkery. That's a technical term. I don't want to risk it, so I'm going to try and get back up to the footpath. Oh mate, these waterproof trousers restrict me so much. I'm going to do what I never do and just go on my knees. Whee! There we go. We made it. You can just see there's so much cloud about, or rather sort of sea mist. It's really hugging the mountainsides, and on and off the buildings are swathed in it as well. Definitely quite atmospheric walking, but I'm really enjoying it. Finally feel like I've got some time to get in my head. The only thing that's annoying is my hair. Keeps blowing in my face.
Despite my hairy battle, this next leg proved far from dull. I was walking through arable lands, and alongside were resting piles of hay, stacked to air dry in a traditional manner. This ordinary task in preparing for winter felt fun and creative, and I certainly had a spring in my step. There were sheep and cows and an immense array of bird life, as the area provides a watery habitat for migrant and native species alike. A few miles on, and I passed by a couple of cemeteries, one clearly much older than the other, sitting atop a small hillock. There was meant to be the remains of a Bronze Age settlement near here too, where excavations uncovered 2 mummified bodies preserved by the acidic peat bog, but I was unable to find the place. Instead, I may have ended up in a golf course and found myself some coffee. You win some, you lose some.
chunky. So there I am, just wandering along in my own little bubble, like, a golf ball. And I was gonna go and film it, and then I realized that the golf balls had come from the people I was just filming. So maybe I was a little closer to getting my head knocked off than I thought. Wow, that's a good view. Look at this. There's the beach down there. That's a big cow patch compared to my foot. Never mind, let's go. Hi.
My day's journey to Howmore almost complete, and I found myself passing by one of the final points of interest for the day, Orcleite Castle, a ruined manor house dating to the 18th century. It has a brutal and bloody history, yet despite this, I was surprised to see it looking so forlorn and forgotten.
We are so nearly there now. So I'm just coming out onto tarmac, and this road is going to take us all the way to Howmore. Now I've got two options, so I can either try and wild camp somewhere, or I can go to the youth hostel. And basically there's a private Gatliff Trust youth hostel there, old thatched croft building, and you can camp there for £12 or stay inside for £20. So I'm gonna have a look. I'm not really one for communal sleeping because I'm such a light sleeper and I wake myself up, let alone having any noise around. So we'll see how busy it is and I'll make a decision, but it seems like a nice option, and to experience traditional croft would be really nice actually. The crofts are the old farming buildings that people lived in when they worked the lands, and still do actually. Heading over the Howmore River, clues in the name, so close to Howmore now. You can see the chapel I've got to go past, and then the hostel's beyond that. But this is nice, good river. Not got a lot of words left, that's as much articulation as you're gonna get. And then an old croft there. And there's the chapel. Actually some trees in that house as well. And then here's the youth hostel. Oh, look at this. Proper nice space here. Jesus, very nice. So therefore, the white building must be the sleeping place. Ooh. Let's go have a look. I think I'm going to stay here though. Super nice. Oh wow, there's loads of rooms. Well, this is me. I've picked a bottom bunk and it seems comfortable enough. I'm just scouting out and trying to just listen to the sounds and things, because one of the struggling things that can, oh geez, I can't even forget my words. I like stutter and stammer. One of the things that can trigger my mind going haywire and seeing things and getting really quite flustered and bad is sounds that I'm not sure where they're coming from. So I am just listening and trying to recognise the sounds because it's windy outside, and that's going to be really helpful. And additionally, I have brought an eye mask, so I could always sleep with the light on and put my mask on if that's just helpful for me. So yeah, and I felt like I'll sleep by the door because then I can see. So it's good. I feel good. I feel in control of it right now. I feel a little unsettled, but I'm just going to work with it. And I'm amazed at the facilities here, I have to be honest. You know, there's USB sockets, there's the toilets, the showers, the kitchen, the living space. It's all really nice. So the warden came round and she said, use anything in the place since no one's here. And there was some salad and cheese in the fridge. So I've made some salad and cheese for dinner. There's no dressing on it, except a bit of olive oil, and it'll do the job. The best thing about this is I have tea. I always carry my decaf tea bags on me, and there was some milk left, so I've made a brew. I'm very happy about it. So I'm going to sit here, read this book, which I just got off the shelf to have a look at, Scottish Wildflowers, and then just chill. Cheers to that. That's good. This is proper bachelor cooking. Rice and ketchup.